Hello everyone, welcome to the part 3 of Divergence Scanner video tutorial. So in our last tutorial of this type of scanner, we are going through the last 4 functions supported by the Divergence Scanner. They are LspSlopingDown since last peak, LspSlopingUp since last trough, LspSlopingFlat and since last peak, and flat since last trough. So those 4 functions are LSP indicator related. So LSP stands for the lowest smooth price indicator. It is an indicator that's only supported by the technical analysis tool version 1. So this indicator, if you don't know the detail of this indicator, I'll strongly recommend you going back to our indicator playlist and looking for the LSP video tutorial to understand a little bit more about this type of indicator. But for this function, for this tutorial, we're going through these 4 functions. It's going to be a very quick tutorial, which is for more clarification why we have these 4 functions in place. Let's go back to our documentation page for now, and let's have a look. What's the definition of these functions? All right, so SP sloping down since last peak. So because we also use the indicator that you can chosen to generate our lowest smooth price, LSP, so we can create filters based on LSP. And this function is to find out all the equities that their SP is sloping down since last peak. So keep in mind here, this function does not check price at all. It just only looks into the LSP indicator. As this example shows, you can see the candle chart showing, but the LSP also drawing on the same chart because you can see that from the last peak, the LSP looks like the LSP with OBV involved in this chart. I mean, this line chart sloping down. So this fulfills the function definition. So LSP sloping down since last peak. So basically, you'll find out the LSP is sloping down since last peak for this underlying security. So this is what that function doing. Another function is LSP sloping up since last 12. Same here. So because we use that, we can use the indicator, for example, OBV, unbalanced volume, to generate our lowest smooth price. So we can create a filter based on LSP. So this function is to find out all the equities that their LSP is sloping up since last trough. Take a look at this chart here. As you can see, the LSP and the OBV combination. So this line chart is actually sloping up since last trough, right? So the arrow pointed out here is moving up since last trough. So that basically means that LSP sloping up since last trough. Okay, so here we go. We have another 2 functions here, which is the LSP sloping flat since last peak and also LSP sloping flat since last trough. So these 2 functions are defined very rare situation. Basically, it requires, for example, for instance, here it's going to be a flattering from the last trough here, and this is really rare found in the practical in the reality. So we have these 2 functions here. But I'm not sure. I don't think you can find many cases fulfill these 2 functions definition. So just for the complete this topic, so we still put the documentation here, and yeah. So we can, most of the time you can ignore that 2 functions. Okay, let's focus on these 2 functions. So the contents following in this tutorial requires you have the basic understanding of what is the lowest smooth price is. We're not gonna explain later, so just assuming you guys already have the knowledge there. Okay, let's go back to our application. So here you go. We have 2 charts open up. So first one is the NCM. As you can see, the LSP indicator is open At the moment is LspSloping is calculated based on the OBV, so unbalanced volume. So this arrow pointed here is the last trough. So what we have now is this chart is actually showing you LspSloping sloping up since last trough. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Here is the APT, the Afterpay charge, and what we can see here is we still open up the LSP indicator and with OBV involved. So as you can see, the chart, the line chart here shows the LSP indicator sloping down since last peak. So if you bring up the chart drawing tools here, as you can see, this is defined our last peak and LSP indicator sloping down. Okay, so here is two example. Let me just open up the filter management and teach you guys how to create the LSP indicator trend filters by using those two functions we just explained. So if you want to create a trend filter in this application, you need to go into the analysis user menu. Once you open up this user menu, point out to the second one, which is a trend filter management. If you click on that, you will turn on the trend filter management, right? So because you want to create a trend filter, you can just open up this one. Let's delete that one first. Okay, so if you want to create a new trend filter, right click on any nodes of this tree structure, bring up the pop-up menu, and in this context menu, you pick up the second one. Okay, so if you want to edit any one of them, you double click or you right click and select the edit filter. So once you open up a new filter creation page, so you give it a name. For example, I'm going to do LSP sloping up since last trough. Okay, so here you go. Give it a name. The name trying to, when you make a name for a trend filter, is trying to give it a meaningful name because it's easy for you later in your future work. Give it a sentiment and neutral. For example, I don't want to touch it, so I'll use the default neutral sentiment. If your underlying intention of this filter is a bullish, you can just select the bullish. If it's a bearish trend filter, you can specify as a bearish sentiment. But for now, it's just a neutral. Trend filter type, as usual, because we'll create the filter underline by using the divergence scanner. So we pick up the second one. Once you have that one there, you can pick up the indicator type. So it's the indicator type is basically saying what indicator you wanted to include it in this divergence scanner, because you want to find out the divergence of OBV with the price action or RSI with the price action, or etc. So for this example, I'm going to pick up the unbalanced volume. So pick up that one, and the chart type basically you need to specify this trend filter will apply on what type of chart. So if you want to apply it on a later scan for a weekly chart, you select the week. If it's a daily chart, you specify as a daily here, and then monthly, year, etc. So for example, I want to scan in the later for a weekly chart, I put it week here. And the functions is most important part. Basically you tell the scanner what functions you want to use for this filter. So I'm going to use an LspSlopingUpSinceLastTrough, so I'll pick up that one. The return value, normally you don't want to change it to false. Basically you want to specify exactly what you want, so it's just trying to be accurate and exclude other nonsense situations here, so you leave it as true. So once you specify everything here and you're finished creating a trend filter by using the LspSlopingUpSinceLastTrough. Okay, so once you create that one, and let's just create another one. So in this time, I'm going to use another function. Give it the same. So give it a name as LspSlopingDownSinceLastPeak. the description part, and some people want to just give it a more detailed description. But for this demo's purpose, I will just make it simple as the same name with the filter name. Sentiment again, I just leave it a neutral. Trend filter, divergence scanner, indicator type. I'm going to use the OBV as well. Maybe I can change it, make it more interesting. RSI. Chart type, weekly as well. Function, and LspSlopingDownSinceLastPeak. So this is a very opposite situation like the first one. So okay, so I finished creating these two by using these two functions. Let's just create a market scan and see what we get from here. So if you want to create a market scan, you go into Analysis, Use Manual, and select Market Scan Management. Right. Once you select that one, you open up the Market Scan Management. So if you want to create a new market scan, right-click on any node of the tree structure, bring up the pop-up menu, and select Add Market Scan. So here you go. So we add market scan, and I'll call it the same with the function name. So I'm gonna add another one, which is I'm using the other filter as the name of market scan because I'm gonna use that function. Okay, so I have two market scan created. Let's just go for the first one, LspSlopingUpSinceLastTrough, and so here you go. Okay, all right, let's just explore LspSlopingDownSinceLastPeak first and refresh it. All right, so for the market scan, very important thing is you want to specify to what date you want to scan from. So basically, I want to scan my data from last Friday. So I think I've got my last Friday, 17th of December. You have to select the data. So right-click any market you want to scan from. So basically, I'm gonna scan S&P ASX 200 top 200 stocks. So I'm gonna use in this market by double-click on that item. As you can see, once I double-click on that, and the market data is going to the right-hand side tree structure. So we're gonna scan this market. Now, most important thing is you want to bring up the you want to bring up the filter you want to use in this scan. So basically that function, that filter we just created before, the LspSlopingDownSinceLastPeak. So I double click on that filter. As you can see, it goes to the right hand side tree structure, which is I have re-included this filter in the scan, and LspSlopingDownSinceLastPeak. Okay, so basically you are finishing up to creating a market scan, and now let's go into the market scan control panel, which is the analysis menu. If you select the last one, so you bring up the market scan control panel, and in here you can control the scanning, right? So you are browsing and looking for the item, the market scan we just created, sloping down since last peak, so that's one, and you click the star button right here. So once you click on that, it will give you a summary, right? Looks like there is nothing here. Okay, let's just do it again. Okay, so let's just start at one, and by clicking the start button. So once you start it, the first of all you have to review it. The settings is that everything's okay. As you can see, I'm going to start to do a market scan. Basically, I'm going to using the filter we just created, which is the divergence scanner, using RSI indicator. And the function I'm going to use is LspSlopingDownSinceLastPeak. That looks alright. Just click OK. As you can see, the market scan actually is kicking off. All right, because I just paused our video for a while and waiting for the scan to finish, and now it's finished. It's give us 97 results. All right, let's going back to our market scan management. It's finished. As you have to, if you want to browsing the market results, and you have to right click on that, click refresh result tree. So as you can see, we got some items here. That's under the dates 17th of December 2021. That matches our scan 2 date. If you double click on that result tree, so as you can see, the result is displayed here. Let's just browsing some of those here. So if you want to looking into the detail of the chart, so you can double click on that item. It will open up the chart in the main workstation area. So the first one is milk, A2 milk. Right. So let's open up the line charts first, and then open the RSP. But we're going to use RSI because we just used RSI. So okay, so it's sloping down a tiny bit from the last peak, but this is not a very good example. Let's change another one. Maybe ALL. Open an RSP. Right, interesting. RSI. Okay. So as you can see, RSP open with the blue line is our chart, the line chart of the price, and the white line is the RSP line. So as you can see, it says it's LSP RSI, so it is sloping down since last peak, right? So that's the correct results. Just a little bit here. Yep, let's go and have a look at the last one. APE, RSP, pick up the RSI. Right, hey, this is again a correct result because it's sloping down since last peak. The last peak right here, it just only lasts 1 week, I think, and but it appears in our results, so that is correct. Okay, so let's just explore another one. Close this one. Right click on the market scan. Let's create another one. Core ASP sloping up since last 12th. Okay, give it a name. So at least we leave everything as the default in the front and 2 dates because we don't want to change it in, and we just select the market we want to scan and double click on that. It's going to the right hand side, which means we are including this data, market data, and we need to pick up the functions what we are going to use in this market scan, which is the so LSP sloping up since last 12. Right, pick up that one. It's going to our right hand side. Again, we're going to the market scan control panel and looking for this market scan we just created. It's here, this one. Let's click on it. So yes, we're using the OBV, was it? Yes, it's going to be an OBV this time, and we click OK. So the market scan is kicking off. Okay, let's come back when the scan is finished. Okay, the market scan just finished, and it returns 96 results. And we're going back to market scan management because I already refreshed it. As you can see, if you double click on that, so all the results appears in the right hand side of this workstation, work in area. So here you go. Let's exploring anyone that is with fulfill the LSP OBV line sloping up since last 12. Let's open up the AMC. Turn up the line chart here. Okay. Let's click on the indicators, LSP, lowest smooth price. So as you can see, the default is by using the OBV, which is also our scan is based on the OBV and the LSP OBV, so that's correct. So as you can see, the OBV is hitting up, it's moving upwards, right, since last 12. Here is this last 12. So we have the correct market scan results here. Okay, let's close that one. Have a look at the AGL, because this one from the long chart point of view, it's a very solid downtrend. But if you open the OBV, sorry, LSP with OBV, and yes, this is quite obvious. For this couple of weeks, the LSP OBV indicator is sloping up dramatically since last trough. Okay. All right, I'm not gonna explore more, review more of the results from the scan, but that's pretty much the usage of how do you create the trend filters based on these two functions, and how you create a market scan by including those filters in, and how do you do the market scan. For what the purpose and why do you want to use it, you need to understand what is the LSP indicator stands for. Maybe you feel this 4 functions is going to be useful, but for this video tutorial's purpose, I think we'll just show you guys how to include that functions into your market scan, and how do you create the scan and do the actual scan. So okay, so I think that's pretty much all the contents of this video tutorial. If you have questions, please leave your comments below. I will try our best to answer your questions. Thanks for your watching. Thanks for your time. I'll see you guys in next video tutorial.